Hey everybody, this is Brandon Ingoldsby. I am a Central Florida realtor, as well as an investor, house flipper, and I'm heading over to Orlando right now for some stuff. Got to get some work done. But I figure while I'm driving, I can go ahead and talk to you guys about something that I feel like a lot of people should know about. This video, I would say, is primarily for first-time homebuyers or people that are trying to scale their real estate portfolio. And it's a really simple way to grow your portfolio in a cost-efficient manner, and a lot of people can benefit from this. And what I want to talk about today is actually called house hacking. If you've heard about it, great. If you haven't, you're definitely in for, some solid knowledge that you can use to, help your future and your children's future, if you have kids, and really pass down a legacy if you decide to hold on and, pass on your portfolio to, your children and so on. So I guess I'll start out by giving you the gist of what house hacking is. So house hacking is either living in a single family property, that you purchase, and then renting the rooms out to other people, whether they be friends of yours, people that you advertise to, but renting these separate rooms out for, obviously a monthly rent, right? Well, the reason this is beneficial is obviously self-explanatory. But just to give you a little bit of perspective, let's say your mortgage, insurance, and taxes is $2,000, right? If you live on your own, you're paying that $2,000. If you're in a 3-bedroom, you live in 1 bedroom, the master, you rent out the other 2 for, in this market, call it $700 a room. Now you're only coming out $600 plus utilities, whereas before you were coming out $2,000. So what that'll give you the ability to do is to actually start saving up for that next property. And for the first-time home buyers out there, especially for the first-time home buyers, look, the prices of properties are going up, interest rates have gone up some. Historically, they're still reasonable, but we've been spoiled for the last couple of years, with 2.8, 3%. Well, it's getting up there now compared to what it was. And the affordability of homes is obviously going down. Prices going up, interest rates going up, payments going up. And it's fairly exponential. So with that being said, for the younger people, like I'm 24. So for the younger people out there, you guys really have to figure out ways to get your foot in the door, so to speak, as far as owning real estate. So, if you have to give up the luxury of living on your own, which, let's be honest, most people in their 20s, early 20s especially, have roommates, so it doesn't matter. But you might give up that luxury, but, you're able to start owning real estate, that debt's getting paid down. You might even end up in a situation where you have a couple $100 extra in your pocket at the end of the month if you do this thing right. Like if you buy a triplex or fourplex, and a lot of people think, oh, well, I have to have a ton of money down. Well, no, you don't. You can do an FHA loan. Assuming that you have a job and good job history, you can get an FHA loan, and with that FHA loan, you're only coming out 3.5% down. Not for nothing. If you go and get an apartment now, it's first, last, and security. Maybe some pet deposits and some other BS. If that apartment's $2,000 a month, what's that, $6,000? And maybe some other miscellaneous fees. So you're basically putting a small down payment down to move into an apartment. And then you gotta have 3 times the rent in a lot of places to be able to qualify. I don't know a ton of people in their early 20s making at least $60,000. And even then, if you're making 60 after taxes, that's a tough payment to make, especially with the price of everything going up. So with all that being said, I think this is a strategy that a lot of people should really consider. It's easy to get into. You can start owning real estate, have that debt paid down, and you can start working towards getting more property, because every year you can move out of that house, refinance, get another FHA loan on the property, on a new property that you purchase, and rinse and repeat that. And just to kind of give you a generic example, if you buy one house this year with an FHA loan, 3.5% down, have other people living in that house helping you make that payment, making it extremely affordable for you to live. In a year, you do the same thing with a new property. Then, in one more year, you do the same thing with that property. Go into the next one. Do it one more time. That's now 4 properties. Assuming I'm counting right, I am driving. But if you purchase all those properties for, say, $250,000, that's almost a foolproof way, assuming you keep tenants in there and manage the properties well, or have someone manage them for you, which I would recommend. Someone that knows what they're doing. But if you do that, that's almost a foolproof way to have $1 million when you retire. Or just 4 paid off properties that are giving you cash flow every month. I mean, what is rent gonna be in 30 years? Or if you can pay it off early, you're getting the full, rental minus taxes and miscellaneous expenses. You're getting that full amount in your pocket every month. You could probably live off that. I mean, maybe not if inflation keeps going the way it's going, but my point here is that when you're young, or if you're trying to build a real estate portfolio, this is such a foolproof way to get on the right track. I know this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and have $5 million, but you can really set up your future and have some level of security, throughout your life if you own real estate and if you do it properly. Now, obviously, you need to have a realtor that understands this, understands cash flow, numbers, how things work. And, obviously, if you're in a single family home and you're just renting out a couple bedrooms, you're probably not going to cash flow. But we want to figure out how to get your out of pocket per month as low as possible. And with doing the FHA loans, are we able to negotiate closing costs into that so all you're coming out is at 3.5%? Typically, when I'm working with younger or first-time home buyers, my goal is to always try to get their closing costs covered, or at least as much as it can be. That way you're not out of pocket as much. Because when you move into a house, especially if it's your first one, you don't know how expensive that first grocery run is. You don't know if a little problem comes up, like that extra $1,000 repair that you just had to come out if you weren't paying attention in the inspection, or your realtor missed something, or the inspector missed something. Like, if you got to shell out $1,000 after you just bought your first house, it sucks. It's not fun. So, trying to keep as much money in your pocket and getting into a property and just getting that ball rolling is essentially what's really important. And, I know this video isn't about just buying your first house, it's about house hacking, but I do want to go ahead and say this as well. When you're buying your first house, especially because you have the idea of building up a portfolio, is you don't want to get into something that's going to need a new roof, new AC, electrical work, water heater. You don't want to have all these big ticket items, that are going to come due in the next year or two. The goal is to really find something that you're not going to have to touch the big ticket items unless something crazy happens. I would say for probably the first, I'd like to not touch anything for at least 5 years in an ideal world. Now, sometimes you get a great deal on the property. It's going to need a bigger ticket item in the next year or two. Okay, it happens, but we don't want to get emotional and think that there's not other deals out there. When you're buying a house, I know a lot of times it can be emotional because it's where you're going to live, but if your idea is to scale and to get multiple properties and house hack your way to, becoming a real estate millionaire, or whatever it is your goal is, some financial security, right? You don't want to get emotional with the deal. If the numbers work, the numbers work. If it's not going to need repairs, that's awesome. That's what you're going for. I personally like older block homes that have all the big ticket items replaced, because I know they're solid. You know, they've been there. They're structurally sound. Assuming, you know, they are structurally sound, you got to check for that and have the inspector look and do his job, right? But anyways, I hope this video helps you guys. You know, I definitely plan on dropping more and more content on house flips, you know, buying houses, selling houses, remodeling houses. My goal is to really just help the consumer. And of course, like I said, you know, I am a realtor. If you need anything, give me a call. If you have any questions about investments, flips. Sorry about that. My camera actually died while I was driving. I was gonna say, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, leave a comment if you have any questions at all. And if you need to reach out about anything, all my information is gonna be down in the description. See you guys in the next one.